Hey guys, it's Melissa from The Little for the Kid. Welcome to my channel. I'm a homeschooling mama of 3 kiddos, and today I'm gonna just do a little chatty homeschool update with you guys. I guess it's kind of quarter 3, loosely quarter 3. Anyway, I'm just gonna tell you what's been going on a little bit within our homeschool specifically. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Okay, so if you saw was it last week or the week before? I can't even remember. Anyway, recently I did a video about being on the struggle bus, and the struggle bus is real, y'all, and it has really affected everything for me, especially homeschool. We've had a lot of things going on. Like, we've had some serious attitudes, teenagers, I don't know what's going on there. I guess maybe typical teenager stuff. Sometimes I think that because we aren't forever homeschoolers, at least not my big kids, that I get some pushback from them because they did traditional school for so long, and homeschool is very different from that. And so I feel like that presents a different set of difficulties for those of us who are in that boat versus kids that have homeschooled the whole time. Not saying one is harder than the other. Don't misunderstand me. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that it changes the difficulties. It doesn't make it harder, but it makes some of the things that are hard different for us than they maybe are for you if your kids have never been to traditional school, if that makes sense. We also deal with some learning difficulties with one of my children, and it feels like that has been kind of magnified lately, which is really hard. And the weather has kind of played a part, I think, in putting us on the struggle bus with our homeschool. It was unseasonably cold here for a while, and we don't do well with cold. So we were like stuck in the house, and we don't do well with that because we're outside people. We live in the South for a reason, right? And now the opposite is kind of happening. Now it's like feeling like spring. Like today it's, I don't know, 72 degrees outside and sunny. It's gorgeous. And the kids are like, let's spend the day on the beach. And so now we're getting a little bit of spring fever. So that makes it challenging. And then we are just busy, like super, super busy. We have T-ball, we have track, we have horseback riding, we have Civil Air Patrol. My daughter and I are both in 2 shows right now, one at our co-op and one at a local theater. So we have rehearsals for that. I am directing and choreographing the show at our co-op, so I'm busy with that. It's just, it feels like we have so much going on. So we have been on the struggle bus, and that has caused us to have some difficulty with schooling as well. Our academics, we're ahead on a few subjects, we're behind on a few subjects. One of my children is way behind on one subject, and so I'm a little panicky trying to figure out how we're going to make that all work. And I know the beauty of homeschool is you're not necessarily on a timeline, so I know that, but at the same time, we don't want them to take forever either. So I'm trying to find kind of a balance. So we've made some new rules in our homeschool. I have generally been pretty lax about where they school, in the house, their independent work, and that sort of thing. And lately, with just everything that's going on, I have found that that's not working for us anymore. And so I made a new rule that we all sit at the dining room table together and do all of our schoolwork at the dining room table, whether it's independent work or not. We're doing that. It's just, it wasn't working the other way. And so I feel like it's better than it was, but obviously that presents some new challenges when they're all at the table together. So we're working through some of that, but I think this is going to be a good rule for us. Also, I used to not have a problem with my big kids while they're doing their, I don't know what that is. My neighbor's doing something really loud. I hope that's not too loud for you guys. Anyway, my big kids liked to listen to music while they worked on their independent work, and for a while I was letting that happen, and lately, I don't know, attitudes, I don't know what's going on. Everybody just in this household is on edge lately, and maybe it's my fault because I'm stressed out, and maybe they're have a have a good friend who pointed that out to me today, that kids sense our stress, and so maybe that's partially my fault because they can. Wow, that's really loud. Oh, I know what that is. Sorry. Anyway, one of my favorite people in all the world reminded me of that today. And it's true, kids do sense our stress and can reflect that back at us a little bit. So, probably a lot of this is my fault, and I need to try to get out of my own funk and off of my own struggle bus, and maybe that'll help the rest of my family members. Sorry, there's still a loud noise. I don't know. I can't do anything about it right now. Um, but anyway, so there was a rule before that they could listen to music, and I've had to change that rule now. So there's no music listening during school time at all. And so they're not very happy with me about that. But we're on the struggle bus, and we gotta fix things, and we gotta take things more seriously, school specifically. Do you ever feel like your kids don't take it seriously? I think that might be one of those traditional school turned homeschooler problems. And just to clarify, if you're newer here at my channel, we are not pandemic homeschoolers. That's not what I mean by we were at traditional school and now we're homeschooling. No, we started homeschooling prior to the pandemic, true, real deal homeschooling. But they did, my big kids, my big two, did go to traditional school through 6th grade until we started homeschooling. And in the middle of our first homeschool year is when the crazy pandemic happened, or started, I guess I should say. So we were already homeschooling prior to that, thank goodness. So anyway, so we've made some new rules and regulations here as far as schooling goes. So we're hoping, and that's very new, like this is our first week. So hopefully, I'm very hopeful that that's going to help us. Also, quarter 3 is the quarter for planning ahead for the next school year. I'm sure all of you mamas do that as well. I'm going to have 2 high schoolers and a 2nd grader next year. So I have already started planning for that. And we have some learning difficulties and learning differences that we're going to have to try to accommodate in high school next year, which is making me very nervous. So if you have any tips about that, leave them in the comments, please. And I have 2 high schoolers or 2 about to be high schoolers, have some really, really lofty future goals. And so I'm trying to juggle like how we can best prepare them to hopefully meet those. Trying again. So I have 2 high schoolers or about to be high schoolers that has some really big goals for themselves, which I think is awesome, and I'm trying to be supportive of that. And so I'm trying to juggle like how I can best prepare them to be able to meet those goals and not just like totally overwhelm them and myself with school next year, being in high school. So anyway, planning for that. So that's kind of how our quarter 3 is going. We are year-round schoolers, so we will school into June, and then typically we take July and August off and start back in September. But we just kind of play it by ear. It depends. I feel like this past fall we started school earlier. We started school in August because it was hot outside. Things were sort of shut down and there wasn't a lot to do, so it just felt like we were just ready. So that's the beauty of homeschool. You can kind of be flexible with your schedule, and I generally look at it from the angle that as long as we get everything done that we need to get done in the year, then we're good and we can take as many holidays or breaks as we want to or need to, as long as we're getting done what we need to get done, if that makes sense. So this year we've also, this third quarter, if you could call it that, we had some unexpected things happen, and so we had some unexpected weeks off school. Like I had jaw surgery. I'm talking funny, aren't I? Because I'm still not 100% back to normal. But that was supposed to be no big deal, like just a day, and I was going to be fine. And we ended up having to take a whole week of school off, so that kind of threw me off and set us behind a little bit. But anyway, we're just on the struggle bus. That's the main thing. So we are hoping to really ramp back up in the next few weeks and get things going better and doing better and having less attitudes and getting more accomplished, and being more successful in all that we do. So that's where we are. That's what's going on in our homeschool. Are y'all on the struggle bus too? How are things in yours? I can't talk. How are things in your homeschool? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button. You can find me on Instagram as well at the little four that could. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like chatting about homeschool. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.